Welcome back. Who drove over here? Quick, let me see your hands. Who took the bus? Did you have fire in your gut? Did you? We're here for a reason. Don't get that twisted, okay? We're here for a reason to win games. So if you didn't have that fire in your gut, you better light the fire pretty fast. Be who you are. Just understand, I'm looking for killers.
Let me talk my shit again.
What it do? This is the Talk My Shit Again podcast. I am your, I would say more hostile than humble host, Cassius Cliff. How we feeling? It is New Year's Eve. We got 2 games left, 2 weeks left in the regular season. And as you guys probably noticed by the initial video, we got the Arizona Cardinals and Jonathan Gannon in Lincoln Financial today at 1 o'clock. We're actually approaching the game. And as y'all saw in that initial video, it looks like to be like training camp, which he was talking to his team. This guy does not inspire. He couldn't inspire anybody to do anything. I mean, talk about regular, somebody that's just like, you're not moving anybody by your speech, your aura, your demeanor, nothing like that. And that being said, not only is it fuck Jonathan Gannon, it's fuck the Arizona Cardinals, and really anybody that feels as if we are not supposed to be where we are and we should not dominate today, that get to at ease. Because simply, really and truly, not only are we in control of our own destiny, we got to seize that. We got to show people that not only are we serious, we're in control. We cannot depend on our divisional rivals, conference rivals to really help us out and really put us in position to succeed. If we want to succeed, we want to get to the finish line, which be it the Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl, we have to do it our damn selves. We cannot depend on anybody else. Yes, we got a little help from Dallas last night, but if you ask me, was I rooting for the Dallas Cowboys? Never would I ever root for the Dallas Cowboys in any way, shape, or form. It could have propelled us to the number 1 seed. I couldn't give a shit less. I would never root for the Dallas Cowboys. That being said, before we get into any content, because obviously I'm starting a little hot, I appreciate everybody. Continue to like, share, subscribe. It goes a long way. I appreciate all y'all. Thank you for that. Now let's go and get into it. As we are well aware, we do have the Arizona Cardinals in Lincoln Financial today in the Linc. And as every week, we always got an injury report, and it actually looks better this week. All right? Because yes, we don't have Slay out there. We're not gonna have Slay. We know what that looks like. But even with Zach Cunningham being doubtful and probably not playing today, Avonte Maddox is finally back. Finally back in the rotation, and that is beyond great to see, given that slot corner has been a sore spot for this defense. It really just corner, or really the pass defense when it comes to the defense, has been a sore spot for this team. So having Avonte Maddox back, he's been a great contributor when it comes to the pass defense and being good or viable. Having him back is huge. So Avonte Maddox is back. Landon Dickerson's back. We ready to roll. Even Nick Morrow, who I feel like is not obviously one of the best or a great linebacker, but with our linebacker core, we need all the help we can get. So Nick Morrow, Avonte Maddox, Landon Dickerson, welcome back. Let's go get this W. Because if you ask me, the Arizona Cardinals are food. We played with our food last week. We almost dropped the goddamn plate on the floor, but we closed the deal. We just cannot do that this week and next week. I mean, you're talking about between the Giants and the Cardinals, 2 teams where their combined records do not have 10 wins. We cannot play around with these guys. It would be a very, very disappointing loss if we lose any of these next 2 games. We just can't afford it. If we're serious about the playoffs, we're serious about locking down this division, we absolutely have to run the table in these last 2 games. Arizona Cardinals and the Giants next week. We just can't play around. That being said, why do I have disdain for Jonathan Gannon and his uninspiring ass? I mean, look at this really, I guess I would say, clip of this report that I saw, and it's been circulating around. And if you know anything about Jonathan Gannon and his exiting process out of Philly, it was a little shaky. It was a little sketchy. Because, just to paraphrase right here, The guy was not locked in for the Super Bowl, already taking interviews for Arizona. And really, if you look at Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins, and how he's running that defense, we would love for him to run our defense that way. Just watch the Miami Dolphins defense and watch how they play. Yes, they have some talent, especially on the back end. They might have more talent than us. But the way the defense plays, absolutely. We should be playing like that, and we would have the opportunity to play like that. Had it not been for Jonathan Gannon, him doing sketchy shit on the side, which didn't allow us to actually hire Vic Fangio, and we got who we got right now. Not to shit on, Sean Desai or even Matt Patricia, but Jonathan Gannon gets no love from me. There's no love lost. I got no respect from him or his shitty ass team. Because right now they sitting at 3-12. They deserve to be 3-12 because that is not a guy who knows how to not only run a defense or a team. Period. You heard the uninspiring press, opening, I guess, training camp soliloquy, whatever the hell you was delivering. Uninspiring, unmoving. I mean, corny. Did you take the bus today? Come on, bro. These are young people that do not have to take the bus at all. Not only do they have money, Uber and Lyft are real. Come on. You gotta know how to approach these people. But anyway, let's get into the content. Let's get into why I feel like we should be able to easily get this W today without any question. First and foremost, we got to set the tone on defense. And if we're going to stop these guys, it's going to have to be on the run and the short passes. Right here, we have a short pass to James Conner, which I feel like will be somewhat used in their offense purely because not only is Marquise Brown on IR for the rest of the year, they don't have any weapons on the outside. The only real weapon is going to be Trey McBride. So if it's not James Conner on the pass, it's going to be Trey McBride. And yes, that's a tight end. He's actually been showing out. He's played fairly well for, who he is and where he was drafted, especially on this team. But ain't nobody afraid or scared of Trey McBride. No, a lot of people don't even know who that is. If you're a fantasy owner, you play fantasy, or even Madden, obviously you know who Trey McBride is. But ain't nobody worried about Trey McBride. All right, and if your biggest threat is tight end and it ain't Travis Kelce or Mark Andrews or Kittle, let's be serious. Let's be for real. He should be able to get strapped without issue, without any problems. And if you ask me, Trey McBride, yes, you're a decent tight end and there's no weapons on the outside. It's going to have to start at the run. The run defense is going to have to show up as they have early on in the season and really put their stamp on this game. Because if you ask me, Saquon Barkley is a far better running back than James Conner. Be it catching the ball or running the ball, period. He's a better running back. And yes, the Giants do have the worst offensive line in the league, at least it looks like. But I don't think the Arizona Cardinals are that far behind. So that being said, stopping the run should be the focal point, and then cluing in on Trey McBride. You're talking about this team should not be able to put up more than 13 points. Unless Kyler Murray decides to run the ball himself all game, they should not be able to put up a lot of points, period. I mean, again, another great stop. I showed y'all in our last video by Hassan Reddick. I mean, these guys are able to stop the run. And James Conner is not a huge threat. That should not be an issue for us in the slightest. Now, that is the defensive component, and that's why we should be able to hold these guys to at least 13, I would say the most, 17 points, 13 points. If they put up 20, we're not having a great game in the slightest. And Kyler Murray is just doing whatever he wants to do with not even requisite talent on the outside. On the offensive end, it is imperative. Not only do we take the easy shots, as you see right here. I mean, you got a crosser to Smitty, and that ends up being a house call for like 50 yards, 40 yards. We got to take what the defense gives us. This defense is allowing over 200 yards passing, over 140 yards on the ground. We should be able to do whatever we want to do and literally figure out the kinks when it comes to the fluidity of this offense and how we should be able to deploy our offense coming to the playoffs. Because that's what we're looking at. We can't make any impressions. We can't impress anybody smoking the Cardinals, smoking the Giants next week. Those teams aren't good. Again, both those teams combined do not have 10 wins. All right, we're already sitting at 11 ourselves. So just to give y'all, just an idea of who we're facing, they're not competition. Aside from taking the easy shots, we got to continue to be creative because, again, the playoffs are right around the corner. We're going to have to be creative in the playoffs, and a fake punt is not it. Yes, that was one of our best plays against the Cowboys a couple weeks ago. If we're relying on the fake punt, we're in fucking trouble. Aside from being creative on offense, especially when it comes to the passing downs, we gotta continue to run the ball. Continue to run the ball with DeAndre Swift. Give him his touches. Get in rhythm. This game will be a breeze at 1 o'clock. I'm talking about a breeze. And all else fails, if not continuing to give the ball to DeAndre Swift, Jalen's legs are starting to get better. He's starting to get in form. And as you see right here, when the defense is lacking and they try to drop people back, just take what the defense is giving you. It's really that simple. We should not make this game any harder on ourselves than we have, especially in the last couple weeks. I mean, we're waiting to the final seconds to get a W on the Giants, a team that we should have absolutely smoked and blew out the water. And like I mentioned in the last video, we are a team that loves dramatics right now. We love to be dramatic. We love to have I would say, interesting wins, interesting games. We don't need these right now. We need to come out of these games with easy, convincing wins and go out unscathed and uninjured. Because the playoffs, again, are right around the corner, and you want to play your best ball right now. And that being said, I mean, look at these guys. This is, if you've seen Impractical Jokers, you know who this guy is. And to me, I feel the same way about Jonathan Gannon. Not only are they damn near spitting images of each other, this is what I feel about him. Because I remember the Super Bowl. I remember the defense he threw out there. That defense was not prepared. It was not geared up for that game. Especially given how they're playing all season, leading up to the Super Bowl. We were on a different level compared to that Super Bowl game, and there's no love lost when it comes to Jonathan Gannon. Right now, especially the game today, this is the vibes we should be having. This should not be in any way, shape, or form competitive. It should be a get-right game again, and really a get-comfortable game. Because as you see AJ, Smitty, and Quez right here, I mean, these guys are just laughing it up, enjoying the festivities on the sideline, which was an Eagles game, an easy Eagles victory. And today should be no different because the Arizona Cardinals are 3-12 for a reason. They're 1-7 on the road, and they're on the road again today. I mean, this is not rocket science, and really, we just cannot play with our food. And if you ask really anybody, the Arizona Cardinals are absolutely food. If they can't run the ball and give the ball to Trey McBride, they're anemic. They're unreliable on offense. In the defense, if you're being thrown out there constantly, it doesn't matter what defense you are. You're going to get ate up. You're going to get chewed up. That is just the NFL. That is the league in which these players play in. So it's not rocket science. It's really simple. That being said, with a few minutes ago with this game coming up, I absolutely believe we're going to blow these guys out 31-13. Very convincing win. Moving on to next week and moving on to the playoffs and really in motion to secure this number 1 seed in the division, for the first spot in the division, not in the conference, obviously, because the Cowboys, they handled business yesterday, even though they had a little help from the refs. They handled business, and we just got to handle ours. And I've been telling y'all this all season. Do not expect help from your divisional rivals or conference opponents. Handle your own business. Control your own destiny. Things will fall where they need to fall. With that being said, this is the Talk My Shit Again podcast. I'm your humble, hostile host, Cassius Cliff. To the next one.